how do I, say if I see a person lying on the street bleeding, my urge is to help, but what prevents me from saying, well, he's got his due, so I shouldn't help? So the other context is someone who eats meat or animal products their whole life and then they get a heart attack. There's a part of me that says you got what you deserved. And I guess how do I strike the balance between the person lying on the street and the person who spent a whole life doing something?
Karmafal is not about getting what you deserve. Karmafal is about getting what you ask for. You must very clearly get the difference. Action and result of action, they are linked in the sense you acted as per your will, wish, desire. What does desire mean? That which you want, that which you ask for. And as a result, you got something. You asked something and you got something. It's not what you deserve, it's what you asked for. Because our actions come from the center of desire. They do not come from the center of our potential. If our actions come from the center of our potential, then we will get what we deserve. We don't get what we deserve, we get what we desire. There's an ocean of difference. We don't get what we deserve, we get what we desire. But what we deserve is far higher than what we desire. So helping someone or being compassionate is about actually enabling the person realize his, her potential. Right? Otherwise that fellow will just keep getting what he desires. And he does not know what to desire. The law of karma will hold its sway. There are no exceptions. Garbage in, garbage out. You keep asking for rubbish, you keep getting rubbish. That's law of karma. You keep asking for, you keep desiring for rubbish, and you keep suffering rubbish. That's law of karma. But the thing is, can't this person do better? Can't I help him or educate him or enable him to see that he can ask for something better in life? That's compassion, that's grace. Law of karma is pretty material, very material. It's almost like Newton's law. You punch the wall punches you back. Or the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. As material as that. And then there is the living element, the conscious element. There, grace kicks in. It's not material. It does not say, well, garbage in, garbage out. It says, son, wait. Why do you need to put in garbage in the machine of karma? What you get as output from this machine is actually no different from what you gave as input. So be very cautious of what you are doing and from where you are doing. That's grace, that's compassion, that's consciousness at work. Right? So never say this is what he deserved. No, this is not what he deserved. This is what he unfortunately desired. He should have desired differently. Krishna says both things in the Gita, if we are referring to the law of karma. On one hand, he says, I'll come to you as you come to me. Right? So if you reduce the highest truth to the material, if you start taking the material as truth, then I too will not provide you the heights of existence or consciousness. Had you really wanted heights, you would not have put material on top. The way you deal with me is the way I deal with you. On the one hand, he says this very clearly. On the other hand, he also says that you must ask only for me. And that's Nishkam Karma. No? Do not desire this or that. Do not work for the sake of this or that. Work only for my sake. And when he says my sake, that essentially means for the sake of the highest, for the sake of liberation. But if you do not work for the sake of liberation, then Krishna won't interfere. He'll simply say, fine, your wish. You ask for something lowly, you get something lowly. But I will suggest, I will recommend Parth that you do not ask for something lowly. Finally, it is your choice. I can at most advise. Rest is up to you. Nobody deserves to suffer. People desire to suffer in very unconscious ways. If you'll talk of what we must have, what we deserve to have, what our potential is, then you're talking of something unthinkably great.
Why would someone unconsciously desire to suffer in a very brutal way? So, say, for example, car accidents, war, crimes. I'm sure I'm unconsciously asking for suffering in a way I'm not seeing, but why would someone do that? Or
You're talking of car accident victims?
yeah.
No, you see, here you are bringing in the personality or the personal self as an isolated unit. The personal self is not really an isolated unit. I might have done nothing criminal or sinister on my own, but I can catch the virus. I did not invite the virus. I did nothing in particular to, as you would say, deserve the virus, but it can come to me. It can come to me, and now I am paying for the sins of mankind in general. My isolated existence makes sense only to my ego. Existentially, I am not isolated. It's not only your own crimes you pay for. You pay for others' sins as well. And when you realize this, then compassion makes so much sense, does it not? Because there can be no individual liberation. If the car driver is drunk, that car driver, which is not me, I will suffer. So I better participate in a campaign against drunken driving for my own sake.
But if I get hit by that driver, how am I differentiating between I desired that suffering, or is it the collective mankind desired that suffering?
When you say you desire to suffer, it is not only your conscious desire. When we say we desire to suffer, it is not only my personal conscious desire. At the unconscious level, we all are interlinked. Getting it? Therefore, liberation is not only liberation from your conscious self. Liberation, therefore, is a very, very deep thing. Liberation, to be complete, would require liberation of the entire humankind. I like the Bodhisattva ideal. It says, I won't cross over till the last blade of grass is redeemed. It's not even heroic. It's mandatory. You cannot cross over till the last blade of grass is redeemed. Because you and the blade of grass are linked in a very, very organic way. You cannot be decoupled. And when you realize that, then you are able to take upon yourself the suffering of others in a conscious way. Because unconsciously that is anyway happening. Unconsciously, drunken drivers are anyway coming and then driving all over you. Unconsciously, we are anyway partaking in others' follies, others' misdeeds. The air here is polluted. Did you pollute it? Then why must your lungs suffer? But they will suffer, and there is no appeal against it. Therefore, you better participate in a pro-environment campaign or activism.
But why would someone desire the air to be bad?
Desire to be?
Desire the air to be polluted.
No, they don't desire the air to be polluted. They want their homes to be celebrated. And they don't see that their little happinesses are resulting in a lot of suffering. Nobody in the entire world would say that his objective is to pollute the environment. Their objective is something else. Their objective might be maximization of profit, maximization of pleasure, this, that, whatever. I mean, there are 1,000 kinds of, and that results in this. And they're not looking at the complete picture because the ego does not want to look at the complete picture. The ego, being incomplete in itself, relishes all kinds of incompletenesses.